You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
And welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. Former Lubbock State Representative Bryce Salinas has passed away at the age of 81. The Democrat was the first Hispanic man to serve in that capacity for our city, and he did so for 4 terms, starting in 1977. He worked as a lobbyist in Austin after his time in the House. Tech Chancellor Emeritus Ken Hance called his former colleague a good man who worked hard for Texas Tech and Lubbock. This sanctuary city for the unborn thing is catching on after an idea to bring it to a vote of citizens of Abernathy was shot down. Their city council voted unanimously Monday to become the 25th city in Texas to effectively ban abortions there. Levelland may be next week. And Senate Bill 8, known as the Heartbeat Bill, will be signed into law by Governor Abbott soon. It bans abortions in Texas as soon as a fetal heartbeat is detected, which is as early as 6 weeks into the pregnancy. Police and other authorities don't enforce this, but it instead allows anyone to sue abortion providers who break this law and anyone who took part in the process. Does that sound familiar, Lubbock? Okay, let's continue our conversation with Lubbock Mayor Dan Pope. Of course, the council canvassed the votes the other night from the abortion ordinance, and that's rolling through. Is there a process now? What's the timeline for that ordinance to become official here?
Yeah, so we took ministerial action on Tuesday night, canvassing the votes, which basically says here's the results of the election, and by resolution we approve that. Really, since this ordinance was brought to us by the voters, by the citizens, it doesn't require another reading of the council. It has to be posted twice, so we do our postings in the Avalanche Journal. Mm-hmm. It'll be posted on Friday. This Friday.
Yeah.
I guess by the time this show runs, it'll already been posted once.
Yeah.
It'll be posted again the following Friday. Once it's been posted twice, there's a 10-day period after that second posting before it becomes effective. Gotcha. This is like we handle any other ordinance. And so we think it'll be in effect by June 1.
If lawsuits come from the ACLU, and we think from them or whomever that it's virtual certainty at some point anyway, is there a plan of action on how to defend that? Do you get together and say, okay, we've got to prepare for something here? And will you use that outside legal counsel that is saying that they will do this pro bono?
So first, we will defend this ordinance like we would defend any other city ordinance. I mean, so I think it's very important that we make that point. The council's resolute there. We did talk in executive session about counsel and who we would hire. Likely we would hire outside counsel. We did for the opinions we got last fall. I think we would do that. We have discussed reaching out to the pro bono counsel. I think we gave the city attorney and his team some direction, and we'll talk with them again on the 25th at our next meeting. But I do think it's prudent for us to be prepared for legal action, regardless of whom it might come from.
Do you think of this as an odd situation that you're in here knowing, and we've talked about this before, but you've essentially got something here that the people wanted that is against state and federal law? Is it weird being in this spot to say, okay, we're going to defend this no matter what?
I think it's different, yes. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I personally believe that the voters' will is most important. That's what the city charter tells us. And so the process is likely to find its way to the court system. We will, as I said, defend it best we can. I think our job is to set that in place and then make certain that we're doing what we were elected to do, to provide for public safety, to take care of our streets, our parks, our neighborhoods. I mean, create an environment where people want to invest in our community. Not forsaking that duty, but sort of making certain both are being done.
The committee looking at changing the charter had talked about maybe taking another look at that process of bringing proposed ordinances to a vote of the people. Do you have any feelings one way or the other on that and how?
I don't. I've not really. I've stayed out of their work. I think today the petition process requires 25%, a number of signatures equal to 25% of the voters in the last regular municipal election.
Right.
I don't know if that's the right bar or not. I'll be interested in what their thoughts are around that. I do know that they've asked for information around what other cities around the state have done around this petition process. We'll see what they have to say. I'm pleased with the work they're doing. They had two very well-attended public forums. They continue to take feedback. Their meetings are open. They've done good work. They've met a bunch of times.
Were you surprised, as I was at one of those forums, that of the citizens commenting that they seemed good with paying the council or future councils some sort of living wage for the job? I thought that would be a tough sell, but there was a lot of people who said, yeah, no, we're good with this.
I think, first of all, I don't support that.
Yeah.
I think a living wage implies that the mayor and council do this full time. That's not the form of government that we have, of city government. We have a strong manager form of government, or city manager form of government. I think it's modernizing the charter makes sense. If that means a little different compensation for the mayor and council, so be it. I think that that's a pretty narrow part of our citizens that feel that way. Yeah. But their opinion is very important, and I know that that Charter Review Committee is considering that very closely.
What's coming for the summer? I know you've been looking for a lot of feedback from the public as far as the layout and how the downtown park will work and look, and what should be included and not, and some other things around that. Where's that stand, and what do you have coming up here?
So we've got a lot of work going on. If I could go back, it's really driven by the Lubbock 2040 plan that we adopted more than 2 years ago. So out of that came the impact fee work that we did last year. The big thing we've got going on now is the Unified Development Code. So it's the complete rewrite of zoning and development. And we're a year into that, and we expect to finish that in the fall. So that's probably top on our list of things going on. We'll finalize work around future capital needs. I think that's likely to call for a street bond in November. It's been 13 years since we've had one. Things like 114th Street, finishing 34th Street, redoing Broadway. Parts of Broadway are 100 years old. We've got a parks master plan going on, once again, called out by that 2040 plan. Another thing it called for was updating our downtown master plan. That was done last year. One of the items inside of that was a potential downtown civic park. We just this week, the consultants are in town and doing listening sessions, and so there's a lot going on. I think it's a great sign of a growing city where citizens are engaged, where there's lots of jobs, where you've got all the right signs for a vibrant economy, and our job's to try to keep that going the right direction, with feedback from citizens, and it's a lot of fun.
One of the hardest working guys in the biz. We love to have him on here. Lubbock Mayor Dan Pope. Good to see you again, my friend. Let's talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
And straight ahead, federal policy driving the markets and driving our regional economy, and not always in a good direction. The state of our oil and gas industry with Washington under new management, next on Talking Points.